Gabby and Co-Room, we're back.
Hi, Carolyn. We're back here.
Great to be here.
So, how's Theo doing, Carolyn?
Theo is the light of my life, and he's a little grumpy lately.
Okay, so, well, we talked to him, both of us. And we're going to share with you the results of the communications.
Well, let's do a little backstory a little bit. So Theo is he's less than a year, that's right?
Yes.
And he lives with his dad, Chaz, which is another, they're Bichon mix?
Chaz is a Bichon. The mom was a Shih Tzu who died.
Okay, great. Yeah, so we are going to be talking to Theo, or we have talked to Theo, and we have the transcript of what we received. So
yeah, so we're gonna the dynamic is gonna be we're gonna be reviewing like paragraph by paragraph of what Corey received, what I received, and if you have any questions or something rings a bell or you want to comment on something, you just jump in.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
So the way that we do these is that we both check in individually, and we like to not have as much backstory as possible so that we don't filter the results. We're doing this psychically and telepathically, and it's very subtle information that comes through. So if we have a predisposition to a certain thing, it makes it a little more difficult. So in our case, Gabby doesn't look at it at all. All she looks at is the picture and then gets what she receives. And then
Yeah, it's very easy for me because all the science knowledge to just bias like immediately the problem, so I don't like to read anything about the animal first. So as always, I do it like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And we always ask permission from the animal first that we can contact them, and we always try to present everything that they tell us, even if it doesn't make sense to us. We put it forward because it might make sense to you. It might be something that's what you need to.
Right.
So we're going to start with you or with me?
With you, and then like in a ping pong.
Okay, so this is what I got from Theo. I do it as a conversation, and I type it as I'm having a conversation with him in my head. So it started out like this. Hello, Theo, may I contact you? Yes, of course, how are you? And I said, I'm fine, thank you, how are you? Good, I was expecting you guys. My mom's been getting some incredible sessions through this project, and I've been really excited to talk to you both. I'm here and listening. So he was kind of waiting for us. He kind of knew that.
Very cool.
So I said, okay, great, Theo. Theo. Thank you for chatting. Your mom has a couple of questions she wants us to ask you. And he says, I know. She wonders why I'm always getting upset with my dad, right? And I said, yes. Can you help me understand what's going on? He said, well, it's not unlike what you went through with your dad. You know what I mean. That moment when a son begins to take on his role as an adult and the father has to stop being a father as much and let the son take the lead. It's a difficult transition biologically. It doesn't mean we don't love each other or anything like that. It's just a thing that happens, Our male energies clash and we can't help it. So
here after both communications, we realized that Koru was receiving this biological part from Theo, the vessel, the here and now, and I got the higher self perspective. So to this question, Theo was very chatty, very easy to talk with.
Yeah, he was.
There's some animals that it's hard to establish the connection at first, or they're not as chatty. There's animals that they would just send pictures or feelings, but Theo was very, very specific and very chatty. I asked that Carolyn wants to know why you are being more aggressive and competing for attention. And he said, I am precisely doing that, calling for attention, There is a hectic energy at home, and I am also helping filter it while I'm mirroring it.
And I actually got that later on in my as well, is that there's been a lot of stress and tension, maybe because of the project that you've been working on, a lot of work, and he's kind of filtering that and picking that up, but he'll go into that a little later in my.
Okay.
So I then asked, Theo, are you sad? Because I felt a little like sadness, but he said, no, not sad, I'm angry. Okay, so it makes sense with what Koru was receiving. And I want to go to the next one.
Okay, so I said, yes, I know how that can feel, Teo. Can you try to see things from his point of view? Speaking about Chaz, a little more maybe. He doesn't like to be in that position either. Do you guys get enough time apart and separate space? And he responded, no, not really. We're together almost all the time, and I think that's what makes our patience wear thin. Maybe you can suggest to my mom that we have our breaks and time to be alone in separate rooms or parts of the house/garden more. I'll try to be more tolerant, but you know how the vessel is with reactions and instinct. It can be pretty immediate sometimes. He says, I don't mean to be so easily upset. Also, it might be because of my pain that I get grumpy.
So in this part it's interesting because, I might see, I missed the window. It's interesting because for me, he would say that he was feeling stressed and it's coming through its paws. The stress is releasing through its paws. And I asked also if he had problems with Chaz. And he said that they are in agreement on the current behaviors and they really need mom to pay attention to it. That means you. So they're really like calling your attention. And well, let's finish with your story.
Gabby, for one sec. So calling my attention to what part of it? What part specifically?
Okay.
We're going to get into that with mine here.
Okay.
So let's see if that gets a little clear. But we're
going to like read all of it and then we'll start to make sense.
All right.
I think that would be better.
So he mentioned to me the pain might be why he's getting grumpy. So I said, can you tell me more about that? Is it in your front paws and legs? Your mom's other question was about that. And he said, yes, I often have aches and pains in my legs. It might be because my mom passed over so early. I didn't get the nutrients and minerals I needed, and I think they didn't develop properly. They seem weak and ache a lot of the time. Maybe there's some supplement that I can get to make it feel less irritation. And remember that word irritation, because we're going to come back to that with what he told the Gabby as well. So, and I said, okay, I'll let her know. Is there anything else you would like her to know? Any messages you have for her? And he said, I need her to know that I'm her helper. I absorb the tension in the home and diffuse what I can. She has a lot of stress and is very busy with all the work this and her other projects bring. I don't know if she can work on easing some of this stress in her life, or at least help me cleanse some of the tension that I absorb. I suggest massages, and if she can do a conscious energy work with my vessel using her love and intention to clear me. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but the boost would be great. So I said, okay, Theo, I'll tell her. Anything else you'd like to add? No, only thank you for your service and blessings, and be well.
So on this part, I asked him, how could your mom attend to this? That's precisely what I asked. Attention to what? What can she do? And he said, I would love for her to give a daily walk with me alone. A conscious walk where she connects with me and the environment. No cell phone, no distractions, no toys, just me and her. It could be funny and hard at first, but it will improve and things will settle. She needs to look inside and breathe within. She's doing so much for everyone, and it could be easy for her to forget herself. I came to be her partner and bond deeply if she allows it. Then she said, also, there is something in my food that is irritating me. I could use some beech, which is a backflower remedy, and a change in diet. We can go through that in a minute.
Okay.
And he added in the end, I would also love a quiet space in the house for my bed, a cozy little corner where nobody bothers me. And he showed me his bed near a window on the corner of two walls, and I saw bluish gray colors. I don't know if that makes sense for you, if there's a corner like that in your house, or that makes sense. So
that he wants or he has, because
he would like that. If it's not that way, he would like that he has that corner, that sort of secluded corner by himself.
Okay.
Is what we got, yeah.
So this is what we got, Carolyn. So far, how do you feel? Now let's get into the questions, and does it resonate?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. The stress part is really interesting because, yeah, there's a lot going on. It's not just what's going on with all of us. It's also what happened as the book I wrote about a walk-in that has been going on for 7 years. So there's certainly been some stress there, but this doesn't feel like stress. This is just such happiness. But I can absolutely see how it's coming. I'm going constantly, and yeah. I get that. Yeah.
Here, what can happen with that, a lot of times our animals will reflect back to us things that we're not really aware of. So
Yeah.
you're busy all the time, and you're feeling it as, passion and euphoria and happiness, which is wonderful. But sometimes there's still that wear and tear on your body, that sort of high level of energy, and he's taking on a lot of that for you. He's a helper animal in your house. This is a thing that we've seen happen over and over, where there's a particular animal that does the service of helping all the members in the family, helping absorb negative energies or stress that may be around,
Transmute them or clear them.
And help to transmute and clear them. So sometimes, for example, I can be have a lot of anxiety or nervousness that I'm not really even aware of unless I look at it. But my dog Leo will take it physically into his body, and he'll start having gastritis and colitis and all of that stuff. And when that's happening, then I need to look back at myself or Gabby and figure out which one of us is feeling the anxiety and the sort of rushiness that we're not even paying attention to. It just kind of happens, and we're not aware of it.
Yeah.
And what is Theo angry at?
Well, I felt that it's like the energy he's carrying around, like he's angry, like a hectic, angry energy inside him, maybe because of all the situation and how he's absorbing things or filtering things. It's not a particular angry that he's angry at something. It's just the resulting emotion of the situation.
And also, I'm not sure, if whoever is in your household is feeling angry, but it could also be repressed anger. I mean, sometimes we don't allow ourselves to be angry because we think it's not positive, it's not spiritual, or it's not productive. So we tend to shove our anger away into a little corner and pretend that it's not there. And if that's going on with someone in your household, then Theo is really like taking the brunt of that, and he's sort of absorbing that. So.
Most of us would just blow, but there is one member of the house that is very calm, and I could see where that would happen. But how very interesting about his pause and the nutrients. I always wondered that because his mother died so young, and I mean, he had to syringe feed these puppies.
Yeah.
Something had to have been missing. It just had to have.
So there's a thing that happens that we've noticed where all organisms, us included, we have our weak spots. Mine is my digestive system. Gabby's is her sinus system, for example, her respiratory system. And each animal we've come across, they sort of have this weak link in the chain of their health. And that's where they filter through a lot of their emotional problems or this energy that they're absorbing. That's kind of like their weakest link, and that's where they'll get the most affected, So for him, if he's had this nutrient deficiency because of not being on his mother's milk, then that makes a lot of sense that's where all the stress and tension would be filtered through.
Sure.
So what is his actual diet, Carolyn?
He is on kibble twice a day, and I'll add a little bit of cheese or something like that, or some eggs or something every now and then. But it's the same kibble all the time, which probably needs to be changed.
I got the sense that he wanted a cooked diet. I just wanted to wait for you to tell us what kind of diet he had, and if it's possible that you could change to a natural diet.
Well, we have 3 chefs in the house. We could certainly do that. I know he's been spoiled from that standpoint.
There's the option of cooked meals or raw diet. Raw diet is usually the best diet for dogs, but for healthy dogs, we would need to do a transition, probably from kibble to cooked diet, to cooked meals, and then raw. which just to make sure that he doesn't like fall into a digestive problem because of his condition, you know, like he probably is a little fragile in that sense.
Yeah.
One thing that you can do, Carolyn, that we find really handy, we do with our dogs, is that we do half and half. We'll do in the morning, they'll get a cooked meal, it can be
or a raw meal.
Or a raw meal as well, and then kibble at night. But we always, and we recommend to everyone, to serve the kibble wet, that you at least put water over it, because kibble is very dry. And their organism isn't built to eat dry food all the time. It'd be like if we were eating potato chips all the time for every meal.
Yeah, actually, every time they eat kibble, the system enters into a dehydration mode for about 1.5 hours, because all the liquids and the fluids need to go to rehydrate the kibble that's in the stomach. So one excellent thing that you could do now, and it would actually help really his joints and bones, would be bone broth. We can send you a link afterwards to the recipe of how to prepare bone broth, but it's really, really good for dogs and cats too, and it really could help him. He mentions an irritating ingredient in his food, and I mean, when it's kibble, it could be just in general, you know, kibble tends to be irritating.
Yeah. Actually, both of us received the word irritation, and he mentioned the Bach flower remedy, Beach. I don't know if you have access to Bach flowers anywhere in a health food store near you.
I can certainly look for them.
Yeah, the one that you would look for him would be Beach. Beach is really great for any kind of irritation, any kind of intolerance problem. So. And
this would be good if you think you or anyone in your house could be feeling irritated by something, or even like if you're irritated for having tons of things to do, like you could take it too. It would be very beneficial for.
Okay.
Since he's mentioning it, probably there's also members in the family that can need this.
Yeah.
So I wanted to mention one thing, that animal communication is something that's open to everyone, that it's actually an innate thing that human beings have, that just takes practice and takes awareness. So Theo mentions here that he is open to being having you be his strongest bond and having you be sort of his partner in this, which is a beautiful thing. So if you would like, and you find the time, you can actually sit down and intend to have this connection with him and send him through your heart and through your thoughts, messages, and listen for responses back. It's a very subtle thing, but it is something that everyone can do. So if you'd like to explore that, then we totally invite you to take some time with him every day and sit down and just open up this dialogue. You don't have to even speak it out loud. You can just speak it in your head, or even send him feelings of love and appreciation, and they definitely get it. They definitely feel it, and it helps.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, and it feels like he mentioned that he is willing and he wants to be your partner if you allow it. So that means, and for Koru, he said he was the helper right now in your household. So the role of a helper animal is he's linked to all the members of the family, and he can filter and buffer all of spiritual and emotional stuff from everyone in the house, including other animals, non-human animals as well. But once you decide that you want him to be your partner and bond deeply with him, it's going to be like more of your filter. He's going to be filtering your stuff, and you're buffering your emotional baggage, you know? So it can be a change in the relationship if you decide to go that way. Answer that.
And you might find, I don't know what your experience with the walk-in situation and all of that is, if you've completely integrated and you feel completely comfortable, but if not, he may be a very useful bridge for that. He may help you feel much more grounded and much more comfortable in your situation. So you might want to look into that.
Now, what about the other dog too? Like all of these, this is all wonderful for Theo. So I would change both of their diets, obviously.
Is Chaz having the same sorts of reactions? Is he? Yeah. Because we didn't really.
No, I connected a little bit with Chaz. He was like, I'm fine.
Yeah, no, he's just that. Exactly. It's he takes it all, but I did feel as though Theo wanted to be the alpha dog. Okay, I'm growing up now. It's so interesting that he said that because I said this is about the time, right? It's almost a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Chaz is just a happy soul. He's just running around having a grand old time.
Yeah, he had no. I tuned in and he said, "I'm fine, completely fine." Like, yeah, the deal is with Theo.
And Theo expressed to me, I asked him if he could put himself in Chaz's shoes a little more, and he said he would try. So he seemed open to that. He said, I don't know if I'm going to do really well because it happens to me really quick. Like, I might
It's
automatically. But he's gonna give it some thought. I put that out there. So we'll see how that goes. You'll have to report back to us if you see some change.
Yeah. How old is Chaz?
Chaz is 4.
Yeah, no, he's fine. But if you change both of their diets, they're going to be better. The health is going to improve.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good.
And at the very, very least, put the water in their kibble. Just you make like a soup almost. You fill it up so they float, and it doesn't have to be too watery, but at least wet them down pretty well. Yeah,
I mean, with nutrition is like with us. You can go up to the perfectionism, wanting everything to the T and everything organic and perfect, but we understand that sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you don't even have the means to achieve that. But any little improvement that we do, it's better than doing just the same thing over and over again.
So I kind of want to get away from kibble, and I'm fine with that. I'll tell you, I'm fine with that.
Well, there's a lot of options in the United States with commercial brands that would just pack your cooked meal or your raw meal, and everything is balanced and perfect, and it's awesome. So if you can get them that kind of meal, there's a very good brand that's called, I guess it's Darwin's. I don't know if Darwin something or it's just Darwin, but that could be a very, very nice choice. That's raw. And there's
you buy it frozen and then you defrost it and give it to them.
There's another brand that I like. It's The Honest Kitchen, it's called. So there's a lot of brands that are like small brands.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something like big production. Yeah, and they're really well made.
And just like us, Carolyn, with kibble, you want to read the label. You want to read the ingredients, and you want to make sure that the first few ingredients are meat products. Not meat flours. Not ground up. Byproduct. Make sure that it has that, and if you can get grain free, that's usually even better. So.
Yeah.
I'll start to do that. Because when Theo's mom was pregnant, I cooked for her every day. And while she was nursing, I cooked for her. And I'm happy to do that. I thought it was the opposite effect, that it was too rich, it was too much. It was a lot of eggs and egg yolks and that kind of thing, because I knew she needed her strength. But
no, you can look into giving them rice and oatmeal with chicken and vegetables. They can even eat some raw vegetables, if they'll
love carrots. They love carrots.
So just check each individual, because they will be a little bit different with their tastes and their needs and their tolerance of things. So just check them.
Yeah, and we can help you if you want further on. We can help you to do the transition and to go checking what they do better with and that kind of thing.
Thank you.
Carolyn, do you have any questions about the energy healing that Theo asked for? Are you pretty comfortable with that, or would you like some coaching on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, so basically this is another thing that we all have the ability to do. There's Reiki and there's all kinds of different energy modalities out there, and they're all wonderful. But basically, we all can channel energy through our hands with intention and with love. So dogs can be very, very sensitive. They can feel it very strongly. So they might not stick around for it, and you'll need to see. Some do. Some love it, and they'll crawl up in your lap and just eat it up. And some will be like, oh, this is a little
too much.
So you can also just project it to them through your heart. Just look at them and intend that it comes through your heart and to them. And that will definitely be happening. So just trust that it is happening and that connection is there, and they will benefit from it. So it's not a big deal. Just like he said, you don't have to do anything fancy, no rituals, anything like that. Just Yeah,
Just
just
pay
send them
attention,
love
yeah.
I
and
have to
send them,
remember that then.
definitely.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard rituals, I tend to believe that we need them more because to put aside our mind,
They're
and to
good.
get ourselves into the believing space of things
Right.
happening. But
They're great as a
it's-
focus.
Yeah.
They really help us focus, but they're not, it's kind of like the finger pointing to the direction. You don't focus on the finger, you go to the direction. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's about it.
So,
Wow.
Any
That's
any
questions?
questions, Carolyn?
not that I can think of right now. I'm just amazed at all this. Thank you. I feel like I have so much of a better idea. And that's so interesting that Chaz is like, no, I'm going to deal with the other one. And I knew it was Theo that was,
Yeah,
I can't tell you how much that helped.
great.
Oh,
We're so
great.
glad
We're
to hear
so
that.
glad, Carolyn.
And keep us posted. Let us know how this goes on. Let us
Yeah.
know if you have any other questions down the line.
Beautiful, beautiful. Anything else you want to share before we go?
No, I think we're good. You good?
Yeah, well, every session is different. Every animal, every family is so different. Everyone is so different that, we serve precisely as bridges to just bring these messages.
Yeah, and we just ask that everyone come in with an open mind, come in with a blank slate, and sometimes it's very, very personal. Sometimes it's even difficult to hear because they're bringing up things we may not want to look at. So we ask to come in with an open mind, and we'll do the best that we can to form that bridge.
And it's amazing to I'm sure anybody watching this is going to learn. I mean, I learned so much. I can't even tell you, and not just about Theo, but just about the animal kingdom, and there's so much more to it that I'm going to pay more attention.
Fantastic. That's all they want. That's all they ask from us. So
Yeah. Thank you so much, you two.
thank you,
Thank you,
I'm
Carolyn.
so glad we all work together. You're absolutely wonderful.
All right, thank you. We feel the same.
Same.
Have a great night.
You too. Talk to you next time.
Bye now.
Bye.